Welcome to this short presentation on return on investment in instructional design. My name is Matthew Salyards, and this assignment is submitted as part of the curriculum exercises for Education 633, Principles of Design and Management in Education Technology and Online Learning, taught by Dr. Andrew Gump at Liberty University. Return on investment, or ROI, helps us to quantify the overall value of a set of training or educational activity. Gary points out that whether it is developed and delivered in public or private institutions, the U.S. spends approximately $87 billion per year on training. That averaged out to approximately $986 per learner in 2018 alone, with the government and nonprofit organizations spending considerably more than their corporate counterparts. Training and educational expenses include a wide variety of skilled laborers, from instructional designers and instructors to software developers, business and sales managers, virtual and graphic artists, including both static graphics and motion artists, voice recording specialists, and much more. With so much money and effort being placed on the development and delivery of training and educational activities, it makes sense that organizational leaders want to be able to quantify the value they receive for their expenditures. That's why understanding and capturing ROI is such an important topic for those in instructional design. Most instructional design models include a step for evaluating the effectiveness of a set of training or learning activities. For instance, the SIP model includes evaluation of both input, such as monetary resources, and product evaluation, such as measuring how well training and learning activities led to the achievement of desired outcomes. The Rossi 5-domain model of evaluation includes an efficiency assessment, specifically designed to reflect an ROI. Kirkpatrick's model allows for ROI to be reflected as a subjective, qualitative measure based on level 1 and level 3 feedback, but it can also allow for more substantive analysis given the results stage in level 4. It may come as no surprise that there are many ways to calculate and determine ROI. Johnson and Bendoff described several ways in which ROI can be calculated. First is the standard ROI indexed, used frequently in corporate environments. This measure subtracts the total cost of training from its total benefits to arrive at a net benefit amount. The net benefit is then divided by the total cost and multiplied by 100 to determine an index. Index values greater than 0 are considered to represent a positive ROI. The second method is the cost-benefit analysis, which is more visible in government organizations. In this method, total dollar benefits are divided by total dollar costs. A resulting value greater than 1 represents a positive ROI. The third method, known as the cost-effectiveness ratio, is more subjective than the previous two and allows for a more qualitative rather than quantitative determination. In this model, specific benefits that have been captured and validated are associated with specific cost to show the types and extent of benefits associated with the costs. This method is sometimes referred to as the bang for the buck approach, as it allows leaders to see the qualitative value resulting from expenditures. It's worth taking a moment to understand the real-world needs for calculating ROI by looking at a few examples. In 2016, more than 1,600 engineers at Boeing enrolled in a company-sponsored MITx Pro course for Architecture of Complex Systems. Ginda et al. Show that advanced learning analytics were used to help calculate ROI. Analysis of results showed that nearly 85% of engineers were able to complete this advanced course with an overall score of 70% or better, which allowed them to achieve certification. Of the 255 engineers that either dropped the course or completed it at another time, only 22 failed outright and had to return the course costs to Boeing. While Boeing's interpretation of ROI is not included in the study by Genda et al., it is reasonable to assume that an almost 85% successful completion rate resonated well with the company's training department and leadership in general. Beinecke and Bibb point out that corporations have realized that e-learning provides a greater ROI than face-to-face training. As a result, 41.7% of Fortune 500 companies in 2013 had shifted from traditional classroom training to e-learning delivered in online and technical settings. Given its ability to be more easily provided to a large number of learners in a systematic, repeatable fashion, and given that Beinecke and Bibb note that e-learning has an improved impact on procedural knowledge gain and no reduction on declarative knowledge gain when compared to its classroom-based counterpart, it is clear that e-learning has the potential to significantly impact ROI for organizations as innovations are made within instructional design and delivery within these technical environments. Gary notes that in the field of foresight training, which helps individuals learn how to anticipate future organizational needs, abilities, and risks, there is no current way for an individual to accurately estimate the value of a given institution's training program. Gary points out that this need is growing in importance as government and business leaders are increasingly participating in foresight training programs offered by universities and private companies alike. As discussed, calculating ROI is an important part of instructional design and delivery activities. Not only does it help educational institutions and organizations understand the overall value of training and education in comparison with a specific set of intended outcomes, but it also helps leaders make data-driven decisions about the effectiveness of their expenditures. There are many ways of calculating ROI, and each instructional program will need to consider the method that works best given the audience and intent of the return assessment. Finally, there is no shortage of real-world examples where ROI can help organizational leaders and even individual learners make important decisions about what training programs should and should not be undertaken. Thank you for your time and attention.